If we get any.
We're gonna get a little. I don't have a beard. Dang it.
Yeah.
Hey, what's up? We're here at Deer Valley at the Trust Factor, here with Joey and Denny that you know so well. Yeah, hey, say hey, guys.
Hey.
Hey, we're here giving you a live stream. We're testing out this new live product. Go ahead and ask any questions, try the comment box, and we're going to have Joey and Denny walk us through expert credentials. How you guys doing today?
Pretty good. Good. Yeah.
We've been up here at Deer Valley meeting with brands at the Trust Factor. It's been super fun. What brands have you guys talked to today?
Oh, we haven't talked to any.
You guys just walked in.
We just arrived. So, yeah.
Awesome. Let the record show they've not talked to any brands. No, it's all good. No, but there's lots of brands up here. They're going to be here in about an hour. They're going to walk through. So we're just kind of doing a dry run and walking through expert credentials. So Joey, kick us off with what's some of the big updates that people can expect. And if you guys have any questions, make sure to use the comment box and ask anything, and we'll take those questions. So Joey, walk us through what you've got.
Yeah, so this year we launched the new expert profile, really aimed at doing two things, answering two questions for experts and marketers. Who is trusted and who would I trust for expertise? So behind us on the TV here, we've got some shots of that. We use things like the category selector and the affiliations here below to show who is trusted in what category, and then we use kind of really colorful, big imagery to show flavor of expertise. Who would I trust?
So Joey, on the imagery, why is the imagery so important? You're talking about trust a lot. Walk us through the profile photo, the cover, and the UGC. How is that so important?
Yeah, so before we launched the new profile, we just kind of had affiliations and then some UGC, and then it didn't really speak to the flavor of expertise. So, for example, we didn't know someone who works at Dick's. We didn't know if they worked at the gun counter or if they worked in the golf department. And now we can see that if their affiliation is they work at if they work at Dick's, we can see that they've got a lot of UGC posted, and they're an expert in firearms, tactical, things like that. So it really is more specific and points to what their interests actually are.
Yeah. So when you've talked to experts about building this out, what are some of the things that they're saying of what they're looking for that they want to add to their profile?
Yeah, we've noticed that. So we noticed a lot of people in testing, and once we launched the new profile, clicking on this category selector, the bar. So what we did was make something happen when they click on that. So now you can tap on that. It folds down. It shows where you rank in that category, as well as where your rank is coming from: affiliations, UGC posts, and learning content.
Nice. So talk to me about what does this mean for brands? I mean, this benefits the experts really well. How do you think this could possibly benefit the brands?
Yeah, it really puts a finer point on who they're talking to. So this is the tactical guy, works at Dick's, and has a lot of photos of him teaching gun classes, things like that. Okay. So it's not just that they work somewhere anymore. It's where they work, what they're doing, how they're interacting with Experticity. Sheds a lot more light on who's actually trusted for advice.
Awesome. Denny, what else do you have to add for credentials?
I would say the other important thing from a profile perspective is as these become more visible across the platform and people start seeing each other's profile, what we've seen is it makes them care a little bit more about their own profile and increases the likelihood that they're going to want to kind of build out their profile and give us more information.
Yeah.
And so we're really trying to make the profile be something that people are proud of and feel ownership of, so that they'll want to, kind of build it out and make themselves look good, not just for the brands, but for other experts on the
Cool.
platform.
So how you've got Experticity employees' attention right now. How could the employees help you kind of build this out, set a good behavior, ask them, tell them what you want? How could employees help you guys?
Yeah, I would say build out your profile, add some UGC, customize it, sort of take ownership of your profile. One thing that we just recently launched on the iOS app is the ability to add accomplishments. And so you can just go in and add any accomplishment that you feel contributes to showing your expertise. So I just put 5 accomplishments on mine. I've got an expired wilderness first responder certification, and just some other things that I've done in the past that I've added to my profile, but helps kind of showcase the expertise that I do have.
So Denny, I think a lot of people back at the office are curious, what are those 5 accomplishments? I'm curious.
So I've got a wilderness first aid certification, wilderness first responder certification. I did a through hike at the Pacific Crest Trail.
Okay.
And I helped set up a whitewater program at a kayak shop. And there's one more, I can't remember what it was.
So basically everyone's going to be inviting you on their next backpacking trip, right?
Yeah, backpacking or kayaking.
Okay,
So, yeah.
awesome. Well, a couple things you didn't know about Denny. So make sure to invite him on Slack to your next outdoor adventure.
All right.
He'll probably take care of you. If there's any questions, go ahead and ask right now. Use the comment below. Just ask anything. Do we have any questions from the audience? This is something new.
Everyone's happy with what's going on.
They're just happy. They're happy with Denny and his first responder certifications. So yeah, to wrap this up, make sure to update your profile, add a cover image, profile image, get it as built out as possible. Other experts are going to see it, and that will just kind of, set the tone for the community.
Yeah, set a good example for the community. The more people see profiles that are built out, the more they'll want to build out their own. So.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks for joining. We're going to go live 4 more times with some other different products that we're looking at with the product team, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks, guys.
When are we going live?
We're ready to go. Just so we... You can. Test, test. We are live, sort of live. Whoa. We can do Sage. Do you guys need him? Hey, what's going on? We are live here from Experticity. I'm Adam, and I am with Sage, our director of Experticity Studios, where when you're on Experticity.com, you get to see all this great content, behind the scenes footage from all these great brands. Sage, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thanks, Adam.
Hey, man. So tell us what you've got going for us. What can experts expect on Experticity.com, and what are we looking forward to?
Yeah, so really, Experticity Studios, we're the group inside Experticity whose job it is to make sure that you, the experts, have like a super cool experience. So we talk with brands every single time somebody comes to us and says, ooh, we want to access your audience. We say, all right, what do you got? And just like Adam was alluding to, our job is to try and bring out of brands this really exclusive content, this exclusive experience. You guys are qualified, you're special, you're experts, and we really value that, and you're our number one consideration. So as we're talking to experts, what we're really looking for here is creating authentic content, so stuff that feels very honest and feels very real. So we don't want the experience to feel like any other marketing platform where it's just a bunch of buzzwords and sort of false promises. Yeah. Our job is to find like the real thing that makes these products special. How they actually help you feel the things that you love. Because when you have that authentic experience and you feel like, oh, this is a brand that's leveling with me, you're way more likely to recommend them because they're the real deal. And what we call this sort of content is expert voice content. And it really is because it's you, the experts, who we try to represent in this content. So whether it's like specifically and literally, having actual experts in content, which we do time and time again. We'll find great people from the platform. With Adam's help, we'll go to the underground. We'll go all over the place, find cool people that brands really want to engage with. But also, we try to represent the expert voice of the brand back to you. So we'll often ask them really tough questions and say, hey, what about this? We heard you had a product recall. We heard you had something go on. And we love fostering those conversations and really facilitating like true relationships. So. And
that's a good point right there. You can comment live right now. And on that note, go ahead and ask the hardest question you would ask a brand. Be interested to hear from the community if you're live now. And just join in and we'll have one of the questions come to us and check it out. Sage, that's what you're in the business of, right? I mean, you want to find what are those hard things that, maybe difficult to talk about.
Right. I mean, the landscape is changing, and when it comes to advertising, when it comes to the way that brands market, and there's been this race to basically be the loudest. That's been the strategy for the longest time. Like, how do we get in your face, and how do we do like bigger and bolder? And what we're trying to do is really the opposite of that. Really bring down the volume, and really personalize this. We go to brands and we say, help us humanize you, right? Who are the people that really develop these products? What challenges have you faced? And we love that. So questions and concerns that people have, it's actually really interesting talking to like the CEOs or product engineers of these products we all know and love, and say, what was the hardest thing about developing this? Or what was a failure? And very often those experiences have turned into success. Most of the brands that we have on our platform, they didn't nail it the first time out. It's been years and years of listening to real people, real feedback. And when you hear that, when that's represented, I think it builds trust, and that's what we're all about.
Absolutely. So you have an example for us?
Sure, yeah.
Deuter packs.
We have hundreds of examples.
Yes, we have a lot of examples. And while Sage is pulling that up, check out Experticity.com, see all the branded content that Experticity Studios is bringing you through video, through different imagery, stories. We are wanting to connect with experts just like you to bring these stories to life.
Yep.
So what do you have for us?
So this is just one example. It's a very standard module that you'll experience on Experticity. So when you log in, you have all these brands available to you, and underneath each one of those brand experiences is something unique. So it might be an article style experience like this, where you can scroll and read at your leisure. It'll be custom video. It might be a more interactive experience with like quizzes or game-like experiences. Deuter, which is the right way to pronounce it and actually gets into that, is a pretty special one because it's one of our latest examples of using real experts to help tell the story. So, a question? Okay, cool. Well, let's pause for a minute, and I'll tell you about Keith.
Yeah, who do we have the question from?
Okay, SK Washua, don't know who that is.
SK Washua, we got your question.
To give us true insider info versus what you can see on their website.
So the question is, how do we get true insider info from brands versus maybe from an e-com experience on their main website? Sage, you've talked to a lot of brands last year. Are you digging up some of that information from brands, and are they willing to share it? Absolutely. So the secret is actually you guys, the expert. So when brands see the reaction that real experts have to this insider view. We just talked to one of our Reebok elite, Katie, today, and she was somebody who made it her passion in her life's work to be a run expert. And when Reebok went to her and said, hey, we'd like to get you some new product before anybody else has seen it, she explained today in the panel just like how good that made her feel. And Reebok, seeing these people respond in such a powerful way to this, has helped them become a little bit more brave, because really they have PR firms and they have their marketing teams, and all of her tell them, like, don't say this, don't say that, don't go there. But when you guys respond positively to brands being honest, warts and all, it makes it so much easier for us to have those conversations. And we're fighting those battles every day. Literally every day I'm in conversations trying to convince brands to be honest with you guys and to share the real deal. And the cool thing about Reebok is there was a moment during filming where they actually took you in a back room where it had a thing on the door that says no cameras allowed. Yeah. But they let Experticity in, and there was a few Reebok employees there who said, wow, I've worked here for years and I've never been let into that room. So those are the kind of experiences that we're having and bringing to you on Experticity.com. Yeah, it's not easy, but it's always worth it. All right, well, let's wrap up with any other questions that you have. Go ahead and comment below. But we're going to walk through this Deuter pro tip. That is how you, and if you were pronouncing Deuter wrong, you have to confess on the comments. So we begin actually with an expert tip that says, it looks like Deuter, which I think is a funner name to say, but that's okay. But it's actually pronounced Deuter. That's also fun. And we found a great expert in the form of Keith Howells. So Keith, he's local here in Salt Lake. He's a fan of Deuter inherently. We found him recommending Deuter packs on our social networks. We found him buying Deuter packs, and he does all kinds of stuff, but he's a hiker, he's an outdoorsman. And so we contacted him, and one of the Experticity Studios digital storytellers, Heather, she went and took photos of him. We went on a hike with him. We actually used the packs. We got
some new packs, stuff that hadn't been seen before, and we got his feedback all along the way. So it's called On the Trail with Deuter. So that's what it's called up here. And as you scroll down, you learn a little bit about Keith. You learn about some of his favorite products. All of the photography is stuff that Experticity Studios produced, and we do that as much as possible. We produce all of our own video. We produce all the photography. Very often we'll use brand assets, but what we're trying to do is create a unique experience for you guys. So frankly, if it's something that you could just find on their YouTube channel or find on their consumer website, it's not good enough. So as we scroll down, we basically go on a hike with these two. We learn about his point of view. We learn about certain products. It is really all about the products. You fall in love with the brand by actually using the stuff that they make. That's important for us to have it still be product-centric.
So Sage, where were these images taken? Where did you guys go hiking?
We actually went up, well, there's 3 hikes, so we did one in Little Cottonwood Canyon. We went to Ensign Peak. They were going to do a big Mount Olympus hike, but the weather didn't cooperate, so you got to be flexible when you're trying to be authentic.
And that's right in our backyard in Utah here in the Wasatch Mountains. So it's a lot of fun, but in the future, we're looking to get in other backyards and work with other experts. One question we get a lot is experts always say, wow, that's really cool. How can I get involved? And so one thing to take note of is make sure to use the platform, share your expertise on the app, share what products you're using, what great images you have. That's what brands want to see. We'd like to see, who wants to raise their hand and say, hey, I'd like to be considered. So watch for that, make sure to engage, and yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to ask below. Do we have anything else, Dave, that we want to hear? Okay.
Yeah, and Adam, you're absolutely right. Like, the site and its content are powered by experts. So many people don't know this, but frankly, we're kind of always watching and seeing what our experts are saying and seeing what you love and the things you're recommending. And brands are so hungry for that, again, almost every day, we're reaching out to real people that are really using products and saying, hey, you seem like somebody that could give us some real authentic feedback. It doesn't mean that you have to be 100% positive on the brand. It doesn't mean that you have to become like a true paid ambassador. It actually just means that recommend like you would normally to your peers, to your friends, to your customers. And that's where like the real authenticity happens.
Yeah, well, hey, thanks for joining us live here. We're coming to you from Deer Valley. We're at the Trust Factor event where we're actually meeting with a couple hundred brands who are here on site. We're showing them all this cool new stuff and just telling all these expert stories, and it's a lot of fun. Hey, Sage, thanks for joining us. Sage from Experticity Studios, and it's Deuter, not Deuter. All right, thanks.
No, that's more fun.
Thanks, bud.
Yep.
Test 1, 2, 3.
Test, test, test.
1, 2, 3. Can you hear me now? Hello.
Can you sing for us?
No, I can't. It's for you.
Just for me?
I won't do it for you.
For you specifically.
You don't want me to sing.
It does feel like we're in a Verizon commercial with all this
No,
red.
no, I'm looking out for everybody.
We gotta get you drunk.
It's better if I don't.
And if you joined us later, we have the
I can hear it. I switched out literally everything. Cap rolling.
Hey, what's going on? We're here live. My name is Adam Buchanan with Experticity. I'm here live with Lauren and Mary Lee. They're going to walk us through some really cool updates on the expert experience on experticity.com. Lauren and Mary Lee, thanks for being here.
Sure.
All right, so first off, we're going to talk about some updates with brand pages. So Lauren, tell me what you guys are working on and what experts can expect.
Yeah, so we've done a lot of research recently on some of the brands, how users are navigating to brands specifically. We added a brands tab on the homepage, and it currently has more views than any other of the tabs. We also looked into some of the pathing from the app, and more people are clicking into campaigns from the search, which is a list of the brands. So we're really excited to look into some of the brand pages we have and start linking to them from these places in the app, in Android and on site. We'll be adding the link to brand pages from those places.
Nice.
And then from there, you'll be able to see what campaigns you have available to you with the brand.
Yeah, so if you're an expert on expertise.com, there's all sorts of updates happening. We're taking your feedback and we're trying to incorporate it into the overall experience. So brand pages will get enhanced, and we'll take your question and let us know where you're commenting from and if you have any questions about the overall expert experience. The other thing we want to talk about, a cool new feature that's coming up, is favoriting brands. So Lauren, what does this mean and how does this help the expert?
Yeah, so in all of our research, and a lot of the research Marilee has done with and get to quickly. So we're going to add the ability to favorite brands from the app, both Android, iOS, and on the website. You'll start seeing this in the next quarter. We'll have this linking from the brands tab, from the search tab with the brands list in the apps, and then also from this brand page.
Awesome, and that makes so much sense because we have heard from experts of, I've got my favorite brands that I come back for the site every time, and so what we're trying to do is just enhance that, make it easier for you so you can go on and just say, okay, here's my brands, and then you can easily find them every time you come back on. So if you have any questions about that, looks like we have one. Go ahead, Dave.
How will the community pages evolve from being brand-based? What types of communities will be created, and how will members be able to participate?
So the question is how will the community pages change for experts to engage with them? And what else, Dave? Is that about it?
So yeah, let's start with how will the community pages evolve from being brand-based?
Gotcha. So yeah, we're looking at a transformation of changing from just being about the brands to more community. Lauren, can you speak to that?
Yeah, so we started adding, Marilee has done some visionary mocks on how the community page will evolve. I think first you'll see the brands page evolve itself to have more interaction on it, more stuff there. You might start seeing products within the page and have more features within that page. And then from there, we're kind of doing some testing into, adding, we see the need, at least, for adding multiple brands into like campaigns. So at this point, we've just done some testing with an initial design sprint. We know the community is a really big effort. We need to add the ability for users or experts to interact with each other and for experts to interact with brands. So we're really still doing discovery into that to say, hey, how are these communities going to evolve? Should they be, based on brands? Should they be based on categories? Or maybe they'll be based more on like localized groups of experts on the site.
And really, this experience is really based on trust, right? So that one-to-one connection with brands, experts can have higher fidelity of what brands are up to, and so that's really what this is coming from. Another new update is coming is notifications. So there's notifications now. You start to see certain things. What other improvements are we going to see on the site?
Yeah, so of course you can go in and you can favorite a brand, but what does that mean? So what we're going to do is we're going to start introducing notifications for any of these favorite brands for users. This is an opportunity for our brands to communicate with these experts that are passionate about them. We'll also be adding notifications in the next quarter for users to come back and re-engage with the site. So right now you could go in and start taking EduGames, but maybe you don't finish. So we'll have notifications to say, hey, come back and earn that discount and get your reward. Come back and shop if you haven't taken if you've taken all of the EduGames but have a discount and haven't used it.
Yeah, because one thing we've heard from experts is, hey, keep letting me know. I want to know if there's something new, if there's something more I can do, and that's what we're building there. Looks like we have another question.
Yeah, what types of communities will we create and how will members be able to participate?
So the question is, what type of communities will we create and how can experts participate and engage on there? So really great question. This is definitely something that Lauren and team are keeping a solid pulse on the feedback that experts give. What else can we expect there, Lauren?
Yeah, so I think one thing that's really missing from the communities is that the ability to engage with other experts and to engage with the brands. So it's kind of why we started testing into things like Q&A through the Run project. So you could start seeing users interacting with each other. We have a lot more testing to do before we really know what types of communities we have, but we do know that experts need to interact with each other. So it's something we're kind of testing into. What ways do they want to communicate? We have some things we could do with the UGC landing page, so we could go in and add text to it so users don't have to necessarily add imagery, but they could talk to each other that way. So it's kind of like slowly testing our way into it because we know there's a lot more we need to learn before we start tackling that.
And the last thing we want to talk about is Q&As. So one thing we've noticed with the expert community is they love to talk to each other. They love to ask questions. They love to say, hey, I'm in the market for a new GPS. Has anyone had experience with this certain one? So experts talking to each other, but also experts talking to brands. What have you seen with Q&A and what are you excited about developing there?
Yeah, so we've been going through some of the Q&A we featured on the site recently. One thing that we have seen is when the Q&A is in regards to a product, users are more interested in it. They tend to interact more with each other. We're seeing more comments on that type of question. We have done some interviews with experts, and we see some users who are interested in Q&A to talk with other experts. They tend to think that they'll trust other experts because the brand may be biased, so they look at it as a more authentic interaction. But then we also see some users who are interested in talking with the brands and giving the brands the ability to respond to feedback and answer their questions directly.
Yeah, and again, it's all based on this idea of trust that, experts trust experts, people trust people, and so that's how this experience is going to be going forward, so experts can better connect with each other and just have this community be a really good community fueled on expertise. We have one more question, and then we're going to, yeah.
I'm an expert in mountain biking. Will I be able to interact with communities about other subjects in industry?
Okay, so the question we have is the expert's asking, I am an expert in mountain biking. Am I going to be able to communicate with other categories? So I think what I'm hearing is, even though I'm in mountain biking, can I go over to ski or run or beauty? What are your thoughts on that, Lauren?
That's a very interesting question. Again, there's more we still have to do with some of the research. You can do that right now. You can go in with the Q&A we've been testing out and some of the other engagements we've done within the Run project and talk with other experts that way. It's something we really need to look more into. There are obviously a different level of experts, so we need to allow some of our communities to talk with other communities in some cases.
Yeah, that makes sense. So I would say on the app right now, today, if you want to look at other categories, that's what you can do. You can go on, all the photos, change the category, check it out. You can also post new content under these categories and maybe ask questions of fellow experts. That's one thing you can do today. We have one more question. I'm getting the big wave from our follow-up. Okay.
So basically what he's asking is, what if I want product recommendations from other people from other
Yeah, absolutely. So that'll be something, again, you can do today. You can go into another category and ask questions. Maybe someone's an expert in beauty right now and you have a question for them. Maybe someone has a certain pair of hiking boots that you kind of interested in, or maybe they're not even talking about the brand, but given their profile, given what they're posting, you can ask them a question and see if they could help you. Is that pretty accurate?
Yep.
Okay, I think I got it right. All right, well, hey, thanks for joining us live. We have 2 more sessions right here. We're coming to you live from Deer Valley at the Trust Factor event by Experticity, where we're meeting with a couple hundred brands, showing them all this great new stuff, and we want to give you a taste of it as well. All right, thanks, Lauren, Marilee. Appreciate it. All right. Hey, what's going on? It's Adam from Experticity. I'm here live with Vinod, who does all our engineering and backend, and we want to give you a behind the scenes of what Experticity is all about and how experts get connected with brands. Vinod, thanks for joining.
Thank you. My pleasure.
And if you're just joining us on these live events, you can go ahead and comment below. You can ask anything you want in the comments, and we will be notified and take your questions and answer them right here. So Vinod, tell us what you're talking to us about today.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about how we use machine learning in Experticity, both for expert experience and the marketer experience.
Awesome. So tell us, what does this all mean when we're trying to connect a brand and an expert, all in the name of building it on a foundation of trust?
Yeah, I mean, like, this is a really new innovation that we started last year, and we're gaining a lot of momentum on it. So the idea is for the experts to build trust in experts, increase their engagement, and really to provide them a feed which is really relevant to what they're passionate about and what kind of activities they do. So for instance, a running expert needs to look at feed which is all about running and maybe things which are running related. So what we do is we look at the behavior of other people in the network and apply machine learning to it to provide a better feed.
Awesome. So if I'm a runner,
Yeah.
what other categories would I might be interested in given my activity?
Yeah, so it's not, it's a bit about other categories, but within running, it's about the best way to think about it is like the Netflix model. Where Netflix recommends to you movies that other people have seen, and that those are similar to the movies that you have seen. So in this case, and she runs a lot. She buys running products. So she buys let's say Garmin and Superfeet, and then other experts who have also bought those products or engaged with those brands are engaging with, let's say, ultra running. So it's a great opportunity for Experticity to recommend ultra running to Kristen because it's in the same activity zone. So this is how we kind of apply machine learning science to recommend relevant brand categories to experts.
Awesome. So an expert could be on Experticity.com,
Yeah.
engaging with Ultra or engaging with Garmin, and then be recommended that other
Yes.
brand. So in the Netflix example, how are those recommendations based off? Is it past activity or experts similar to that expert?
It's the combination of both. It's
Okay.
the past activity of what movies you have seen and what other people are also seeing who are similar to you.
Awesome. So I'm just thinking of if I was based off what my wife's activity would be, it would be kind of a mess because she's all the rom-coms. I'm a little bit more action and
That's
adventure.
why they have different
That's right.
profiles for
So it's
you and her.
dangerous.
Yeah.
So we may have to get 2 Netflix accounts. So
Yeah.
a little touchy for me.
Yeah.
Okay. So on the recommended, so we have Kristen here,
Yeah.
and she's on her profile. She's sharing content. So I'd say if you're an expert and you're on the platform, make sure to share what you're doing, what things you're interested in. And you can do that by posting new content, and you can tag this content in the image. That tells us more about you to give a better experience. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And to build that trust, we use a lot of signals about what experts are doing on the system, like what UGC they're uploading, what products they're buying, what community activities they're doing, what edu games they're taking, and we take all those signals and then apply machine learning on top of that to recommend. And we continuously improve upon it by seeing what works and what doesn't work. So the more the data we get, the better the algorithm works.
So it's important that if you want a really good experience on Experticity, be active.
Yeah.
Share all that content, take edu games that is of interest to you, and you're going to get a really nice curated experience.
Yeah, absolutely.
So really it is like Netflix of reviewing the certain movies or whatever it is. Yeah. Just do what you're doing on Netflix and take that over to Experticity.
Yeah.
Okay, what else can you tell us about the app and the member experience and what this means for even brands?
Yeah, so coming to brands, so what we are going to do right now is flip it around. So for the brands, we are going to recommend to them what experts they should be targeting. So in today's world, they target based on people's affiliations and categories that they are in. So what we are trying to do is, as we apply machine learning to the experts' activity, and the affiliations and the expertise that they have in different categories, we are going to apply this algorithm, and to the brands, we recommend that here are the, let's say, 100,000 people that we think that you should target. Now, these may be people whom you don't target today because you probably don't know about them, or they are outside your dealer network or category network. So that's a great opportunity to build, trust for the brands as well, that we are providing you the right audience. And of course, you'll still be able to apply all the targeting criteria that you are used to applying today, and you can filter out based on demographics and affiliations, but you can start with the recommended audience, which is quite powerful.
So really it's a win-win for both expert and brand, because we're just trying to make it a better experience for everybody and also be really smart about it.
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Well, if you have any questions, go ahead and comment below. Did we have any questions come in? Okay. Well, maybe you should wake up and join us on the next live event. It'll be the last one of the 5 that we're doing today. And we're just taking your questions here live from Deer Valley. We're at the Trust Factor event. This is an Experticity event where we're meeting with a lot of brands that are on the platform, sharing all these new product updates, and just really having a good time and just learning everything that's coming down the pipeline. All right. Thanks, Vinod. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam.
All right. Thanks.
Correct. Let's try that again. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2 1 2 1 2. So it's still. check. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1.
do it.
Hey there, we're live now at Experticity.com. My name is Adam Buchanan. I'm here with Eric Monsowitz out of our Seattle, Washington office. Eric, thanks for being part of the show.
Thanks for having me. How are you, Adam?
Doing well, man. This is our 5th event that we've just done back to back. We're showing all the great new products that we're up to and that Eric is building, and just the great team we have here at Experticity. Kind of give them a chance to talk about what's coming up, what experts can expect, as well as what our clients can expect. So, Eric, you're over client experience on what is the back end of Experticity, how do they manage campaigns. Tell us a little bit about what's coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, we're all about the brands and helping the brands target the right experts. And we're working on a number of 3 different areas. We do campaigns, we do targeting, and we do analytics. So these are the ways that we can help our brands, our clients, target and talk to the experts that are within our community.
Gotcha. So what are some of the big pain points that you've found in the past that you're trying to overcome with this new product?
So one of the big things that we're working on now and that we're building out is our targeting functionality. So we talked a lot about the brands wanting to find the right experts, and we are going to start helping them with different types of behavioral targeting. So brands that have engaged with a certain campaign of theirs before, or clients, experts that have engaged with a brand before, experts that have purchased an item from a certain customer before, but really from a certain brand before, but really helping the brands find the right audience, the right experts that they want to target.
Yeah, that makes sense. And here at this event, we're streaming live from Deer Valley. We're at the Trust Factor event put on by Experticity. We're meeting with a lot of brands that are part of Experticity.com, talking to them a lot about trust over these next few days. And really what you're talking about is connecting a brand and an expert, really some level of trust that they may know them or it could be interested in them.
Absolutely. We want to make sure that we're always showing the right information to the right expert at the right time. That's helping the brand create an audience and a discussion and a conversation with the experts where experts are responding back to the brands. They're responding to surveys. They're uploading content. They're responding with information that the brands want, and then the brands can use to help make product decisions on their end.
And if you're just joining us here with Eric Monsowitz, we are talking about the client experience on the back end of Experticity. If you want to ask a question, you can go ahead and ask now and just talk about anything that may be interesting to you. Eric is here now, ready to answer your question. Eric, people can ask you anything right now.
Anything at all.
Okay, just checking. Eric, what are some questions that you do get about this product that maybe you could cover for us right now?
Well, we get a lot of questions about how we came up with the site and what we have in each of the different areas. So there's the dashboard, and that's the analytics. That's giving the brand the information about the experts that are engaging with that audience. There's the campaigns that we talked about, how the brand is setting up different types of surveys, different types of targeting segments. The content is the great content that our team, that our Experticity Studios team is creating for the brands. And then it's experts. They're asking for more detail about who exactly the experts are. What are their credentials? More about them. Where do they work? What do they like to do? And on our platform, the brands are able to drill down into the different audience segments that we have.
Okay, so Eric, we do have some questions. So if someone could put 60 seconds on the clock, Eric, you're going to be, I'm just kidding. What's the question that we have?
It's from Adam Strong. How do you see us best monetizing this product?
So the question is from Experticity employee Adam Strong, one of my personal favorite employees. Everyone else just, no. Adam asks, how can we monetize this engagement? What does this mean for us as a business?
So the best way that we can monetize is by showing the right, number one, the right brand, and number two, the right type of engagement to the expert so that the expert is interested in engaging. We are now running surveys. We can do NPS scores so that if a brand is interested in knowing more about what our expert audience thinks about that brand, they can run a survey against the experts that they want to target. So that's one great way, and really it's using our targeting so that we're our recommended targeting that you heard previously from the machine learning experts is that we're doing a lot of work into figuring out based on what other brands a certain expert is interacting with, what other types of challenges a certain expert is doing, what the right campaign is to show that expert.
Sounds good. Eric, sounds like we have another question What's this one?
How do we make sure our experts don't start to feel overwhelmed by impersonal asks from brands?
So the question is coming in, how do we make this a personal experience so experts maybe don't feel overwhelmed? Again, we're all about trust. We're trying to focus on that, and that will be revealed through the product and the overall expert and client experience as well. So how can we maintain trust as you're building this product?
We help the brands maintain trust with the experts by making sure that we're showing the right campaign to the right customer. So we're personalizing all aspects of the expert experience that you heard previously talked about a little bit, and we're helping brands with different types of targeting, with different behavioral targeting. So based on the products that they've searched on before, making sure that they see the right products next, and helping the brands understand the different types of ways that they can set up the campaigns to make sure that they're targeting the right audience and that the audience is seeing the right campaigns.
Awesome. And it sounds like we have another question. Eric, you're about to win the toaster. So go ahead. What's our third question?
What ways, if any, are we able to pull in activity from outside of our platform, whether it's from other networks in the real world, like competitions, races, education, etc.?
So the question that came in is, how do we pull in maybe some other data or other information from sites not on experticity.com? Maybe this is from forums or other places. Is that something that's being explored, or what do you think about that?
Yeah, there's two ways that we're doing that. One is with content that that experts are sharing on other social networks, other communities like Instagram or Facebook. We have functionality that lets brands see what else the experts or their audience is posting on other sites and bringing that onto helping the brands use that on Experticity, on ReadyPulse. And then also is the second, I lost my train of thought, the second thing that we're doing with helping brands outside of the site is, as we start off Experticity, off other audiences, as we start getting information on Experticity, is using that information on other social networks as well.
Yeah, that makes sense. So sounds like you guys are thinking really big, even off-site, not just on-site.
Absolutely.
Awesome. If there's any other questions, sorry, you did not win the toaster. Okay. Unfortunately. Hey, thanks for joining us live here at Experticity. I'm Adam. This is Eric. Thank you so much for walking us through. This sounds like it's going to be really big for the clients going forward.
Awesome. Thanks, Adam. Thanks
All
for
right.
having me.
Thanks for joining. See you later.